So about a week ago, hypercar manufacturer SCC made automotive history by breaking the production car top speed record with an average speed of, get this, 316 miles per hour on a closed stretch of highway right outside of Pahrump, Nevada. Now, most amazingly of all, they were able to reach a peak top speed of 331 miles per hour at one point on the 7-mile stretch of road. However, SEC and driver Oliver Webb stated that weather conditions weren't exactly optimal to get the most out of the car. They actually felt like the car could have gone faster, but massive crosswinds going across the desert that day actually caused a few issues. In fact, after the final run, driver Oliver Webb got out of the car and spoke to no one for 5 minutes before proclaiming that that was his final run. Fortunately, all the records had been shattered. Now, we are going to commemorate that amazing automotive feat by trying to duplicate it in a much safer manner in virtual reality. What I've done is I've recreated the stretch of Highway 160 in Nevada between Pahrump and Las Vegas and modded it into Assetto Corsa, and then I've downloaded the SSC Tuatara or a mod from RTM-Mods, and we are going to put those two together in the game and see if we can match the 331 mile per hour top speed record. Can Assetto Corsa and its vast modding community match the sheer terror of going 331 miles per hour in reality? Well, we will see. Beautiful day out here in the Nevada desert. We've closed off this roughly 10-mile stretch of road. This thing is gorgeous. We have it in I think this is carbon silver is the color, not black like the one that actually did the test. Still gorgeous car nonetheless. Great job on the modeling here from RTM-Mods. This is actually a paid mod from them. So if you want to drive this car, it will cost you $12.95 to do so. Nothing else left to do but hop in and drive. All right, so a few things before we get started here. I don't know the conditions of the exact conditions of the weather that day, so I've tried to match them as well as I can. Also, I didn't spend too much time making this particular road. I didn't want to spend weeks and weeks on this mod, so this is just an approximation of that road that I created using Google API data. So also, this mod is the 2019 model. I believe the one that was driven in real life was actually the 2020 model. They're roughly the same as far as performance goes. They both have about 1,800 horsepower. Some very slight differences. The dash gauges are a lot different in the newer model. Also, in the one that is driven in real life, there is actually a rearview mirror. This one does not have a rearview mirror. It actually has a rearview camera in the dash. Otherwise, it's a great looking mod. RTM-Mods, all of their mods are actually really well made, and for the most part worth the money. But we'll see how this one does. Also, the speed record is actually taken from an average of the top speed in both directions. So we're going to go all the way down this road, roughly about 8 or 9 miles, and turn around and come back. We're just going to do it on the stock settings for the mod, see how we do, and then we're going to pit and come back and change some settings to see if we can match 331 miles per hour at the very least. Sounds good. Let's go. Okay, this thing is fast. We are already well over 200 miles per hour. Holy. We are moving. Now, in real life, they reached 300 miles per hour before they even got to 6th gear going downhill, which we are doing now. Looks like we're going to have some trouble getting to 300. I mean, there's no time to even look at the scenery. Oh, we're over 300, 302, 303, 304. We are out of gears. All right, I think 304 is about our best. So we're going to break up here where these trucks are. The road flattens out some. Wow, that thing is fast. I'd love to see one of the more skilled Nordschleifer sim drivers out there take this thing through its paces. So we're back in the pits now after going downhill, and I just felt like only reaching 304 miles per hour going downhill, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to come back uphill before making changes to try and reach 331 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the cars, for the most part, the modders have configured it for top speed. The arrow's all the way down. So what I've done is raise the tire pressure some and lower the car some and dumped about half the fuel out. And we're going to see if that makes a difference. As you see over there, our fuel indicator is on. We should have enough to make it all the way to the end and back. All right, let's go. It's just unbelievable how fast this car gets to 200 miles per hour. Now, with the increased tire pressure, I can already tell a difference. Even in the straight line handling, it's a bit squirrely. And Assetto Corsa does simulate wind, so all right, 301, and we're still going downhill. 302. All right, 304, 305, man, that's all we got. 305. Oh, what? We're out of gas. We're out of fuel. Yeah. All right, so I know that we're gonna need every bit of fuel in this thing. Back to the pits. All right, so we're back in the pits. We're gassed up. We're no longer bingo fuel. I guess 10 liters is not enough to make it there and back. We found out the hard way. We topped out at 305 before we ran out of gas. Unfortunately, with this mod, you cannot change the gear ratios. However, the final drive is 313 miles per hour. Maybe we can reach that. I've increased the tire pressure just a little bit more. I don't think the increased fuel makes that much of a difference in weight. So we're actually going to go downhill and come back uphill on this run. So man, traction control is putting in overtime. I guess that's what 1700 horsepower will do to your tires. I'm gonna guess in the real car they had the gearing really, really tall. The articles were saying that they hadn't even reached 7th gear yet when they hit 331 miles per hour. So we're already in 7th gear at 7,500 RPM. We're at 305 though. So I'm wondering if we can pick up speed when we turn around and come back. The first part of that section is downhill. The rest of it is uphill. But, you know, Nevada isn't quite as flat, I think, as people think it is. Midwestern states are a lot more flat. Driving through Kansas, northern Texas, that's flat. All right, so we're going back uphill now, southbound towards Las Vegas. See if we can pick up any speed on this first downhill section. I mean, look how quickly we're already at 250. That's insane. I can't go back down to 6th to see if I can get any more. Okay, this side of the road is not as stable. Oh, and we're now bingo fuel. Yeah, we're struggling to get above 300 going uphill. Isn't that crazy to say? I think that's about all we're going to get out of her. Man, and we are like completely in the red when it comes to fuel. All right, I feel like there's a little bit more speed we can get out of this thing. So I've jacked the tire pressures all the way up. I've dumped a lot of fuel out. We're down to 20 liters. I think we can get to 310. I think that should be enough. I don't know if we'll be able to make it all the way down and back, but we're gonna at least try and beat 305. So this thing's impossible to launch. It's got too much power. All right, we've passed the 300 mark. There's 305. 306. Really, 1 extra mile per hour is all we could get from maxing out the tire pressure. Unbelievable. And we are now bingo fuel, and we're on the uphill section, so I think that's gonna do it. Okay, so we weren't able to match the real world time. However, 300 miles per hour ain't bad at all. Okay, so that was fun. We didn't quite reach 331 miles per hour or even 316 miles per hour, but 306 miles per hour is pretty good in Assetto Corsa. I think RTM-Mods did an outstanding job with this car, and this is the only way that most of us will get to drive it, as a real one of these will cost you in the range of $1.5 million. Yeah, So shout out to those guys for making an outstanding mod. It's actually well worth the money that I paid for it. So go over and support those guys. Take a look at their other mods. Also, now since I've got this virtual stretch of Highway 160 built, I'm gonna have to take other cars out there and see what their top speeds are. So go down in the comments and tell me what cars you would like to see try and reach a high top speed in Assetto Corsa, and we'll see if we can't make it happen. If you guys also want to drive on that stretch of highway, let me know, then I'll go ahead and post a link to download in the comments. I will not be working on that track any further, so what you see is what you get with that track. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and then subscribe so that you can get more of the sim racing content that you desire. You guys take care of each other and drive safe virtually.